Hey guys, welcome. This is Sarah Harnish. I'm a Young Living Diamond and I'm the author of the Game Plan Oils script book. And tonight is a launch night. So it's a super special night. We get to start a brand new class that I've never taught before in my entire life. So without further ado, we're going to jump right into the enzymes class this evening. If you guys have your teacher's editions, you can open up to 112 and follow along, or you can open up your Euler edition script book and follow along. This class is really special to me because it was built with the hands of a lot of diamonds in Young Living. We got together and collaborated on a class, and I talked to many of them and asked them to use some of their source material to put this class together. So a huge shout out to a number of diamonds. They asked not to be named by name, so I'm not going to name them by name, but I am very, very grateful. It really does take a village for us to do all of the education that we need to do. All right, I'm going to do a quick screen share because before I jump in, I just wanted you guys to know today's a pretty big day. I mean, everybody's morphed over to the new website, so that is super exciting. And not only that, but that means that we can bring people in with any product. And we've been waiting for this for a really, really long time, which means that the script book is super, super, super applicable because all of these scripts can be used to meet people's needs. And say you teach an enzymes class this week or next week, if somebody needs enzymes, they sign up and spend 100 PV, they're now a wholesale member, and you did it without a starter bundle. You brought them in just with enzymes, which is what they needed. So that's pretty cool. Because of that, you guys are going to see a boom in OGV. You're going to see a boom in the amount of customers that you have. And I wanted to make sure that we had our resources up to date for you. So if you head over to my website, and you are at oilabilityteam.com, we did a little update today. Here it is, oilabilityteam.com. If you go to share, you'll see teacher training right here. You click on that. We just updated this document. I'm actually going to I just did a teacher training a half an hour ago, so I'm going to tweak a couple more things in here, but by tomorrow night, we'll have it all ready for you. But you just click on teacher training and scroll down and it will let you download it. We did test the Fearless PowerPoint. A couple of you guys had asked if Fearless was available, and it is up on the website, and we downloaded it no problem today. So just make sure you're clicking the download button. But we got a brand new teacher training document for you guys to be able to use. So we've got the compensation plan, the income disclosure guide, why do a Young Living business, and we tweaked some of the words in here. I know the FTC does not like the word financial freedom or anything like that, so instead we changed it to build an income with your side hustle, right? So just a couple of language tweaks to keep you guys a little safer. We talk about the comp plan, and if you notice, starter kit bonuses are not there anymore, so it's just fast start, unilevel, and bonuses. We talk about rank qualification, and we do a little teaser of Silverbound. Then I have them log in and do a tour of the virtual office and show them how to place a subscribe to save order. And then their homework is to teach their first class. So this is just a one-page document you can print front to back and use it to teach and train your leaders. And absolutely, if you want to give a little bit more depth than just getting to STAR, but what I like to do with Silverbound bonuses is train them on STAR and get them to their first class and make it a goal to try to hit STAR in that first class. If they have, 4 or 5 people come into that class, try to get them to hit STAR in that first class. Then after the class, talk about the successes of the class, train on following up. And that's when I go over Silverbound and all the Silverbound bonuses, just so we're not overloading them with so much information at once. I mean, talking about the income disclosure guide, the whys, the comp plan, how you're paid, how you rank up, a little bit of Silverbound, touring the virtual office. That's a lot of information in one sitting. So I usually just train them on STAR only, and then I'll turn around and do the class with them. So what I'll do is, as soon as I'm done doing this teacher training with them, I go right to the website, go to share, and say, listen, there's 5 scripts right here. Pick whatever class speaks to your heart, whether it's oils, thieves, Ningxia, CBD, or the kids class. Download the script, download the PowerPoint, practice it 2 or 3 times, and in the next 48 hours, I want you to teach that class to somebody. Go teach it to your mom, teach it to your best friend, teach it to your husband, teach it to your 3-year-old, all right? Sit down and teach it to somebody, because I want you to see that you have the ability to teach, that it's not as scary as it seems from the outside. So then when they're done with that, then I'll go on and do more advanced training with them, but brand new teacher training documents for you guys. So I hope that that's just a huge huge blessing to you as you guys are growing your businesses. Yep. Sweda says to unlock the 24% wholesale for a year. Yep. They need to be 100 PV. Yep, exactly. This is sweet. Love your classes. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Jessica. That really means a lot. Okay. So let's jump right into the enzymes class. Are you ready to see the brand new PowerPoint? Literally brand new. I worked on this all day today to get it done. I'm going to open up my PowerPoint. So you guys will be able to download this week. Let me just do a quick save on it. And once you hit download, you just go to slideshow and from beginning or from current slide, and you're going to make your whole thing look like this. So I'm going to teach it right in front of you guys for the first time. I've gone to my teacher's guide. I pulled out the enzymes class. So I've got it right in front of me. It says this class is an hour and a half. I think we can actually teach it in probably 45 to 50 minutes. So it's 8:45 Eastern right now. Let's see about how long it takes for us to teach. But this class is so important. This is definitely one of the most important supplements. It's the first supplement, some of the first supplements that Gary made. He made multigreens and then he made enzymes. So it's a really, really important concept to understand. So I always love to start out with Gary's stories. Gary Young is the founder of Young Living, and on the inside cover of every single one of the dividers, you will find a story from one of the diamonds in Young Living and some photos of their journey with Gary, because man, there's a lot of garbage on the internet. And I think it's really cool if we actually hear from people who were with him and traveled with him and knew him as a person. So this is actually from my upline, Diane Mora, who is a crown diamond in Young Living, just amazing woman, incredible woman, and a huge mentor to me and an inspiration to me. So this is her story. She says, one of the most fascinating days I had was in 2013 while I was on the Diamond Retreat in Oman. We were based at the beautiful Crown Plaza Hotel, which Gary had been telling us about, and each day we would venture out to see something new. Gary wanted his diamonds to see what he'd been talking about for 20 years. This day I rode in the back of Gary and Mary's vehicle from morning until night. My team members, Kathy Breen and Jill Young, were with me, and what an adventure it was. We went to the lost city of Ubar, Job's tomb, the souk, the flea market, our sacred frankincense farm, and so many other places that we'd only dreamed of. We drove for miles. I missed this retreat by 2 years, guys, for a diamond. I'm just like, We drove for miles, and Gary would suddenly make a turn where there were no signs, forging ahead to where he knew the next destination was. Even the locals were amazed at his knowledge of their country. We had 9 vehicles transporting all 40 attendees, and he kept them informed when they were off to another destination. The really great part of all of this was that we had Gary captive to answer our questions all day, and he did. So those are the notes from Diane Mora and her experiences with Gary Young, which I just think is so cool. Then right underneath that, we have another diamond story. This one's from Adrienne Graham. She said, I wish I had a personal Gary Young story. My gold leader shared one with me. She said, we were all getting out of the car at the farm, and a woman came up to Gary crying. They talked about something that was bothering her, and when he came back to us, he was working out a plan for a new oil. Sarah, he never creates an oil for a profit. It's always to meet the need of a member. So she had a need for emotional release, and he created that blend specifically for her. So let's jump right into the enzymes class. Welcome to the 112 enzymes class. Why have a training on a single supplement when Young Living has so many supplements? Well, it's because it's mission critical for the body to be able to get the nutrients out of your food. It's really important. And that is the role that enzymes play. It's one of the core 4 most important supplements for your body. I would also say Ningxia, the Ningxia class we have, super important. And there's already a class in this book on the core 4 supplements, which we did last week. So the 4 I consider to be the most important for the human body: Ningxia, which is antioxidants; omegas, which is omega, guys. Those are your omega 3, 6, 9s, and 12s. Life 9, which is probiotics; and Essentialzyme or Essentialzyme 4 enzymes. Those are the building blocks for your body to do what it needs to do. It is terribly hard to get all that you need from food alone, because food is damaged from being repeatedly grown on the same soil depleted land, sprayed with fertilizers and pesticides. Scientists are breeding new varieties of crops to grow faster and to resist bugs, but we don't know what those genetic modifications do once they hit our cells. Our cells are literally made up out of what we eat. 80% of all corn grown in the United States, and that also means every corn containing product is grown with genetically modified seeds. A Kushi Institute analysis of nutrient data from 1975 to 1977, so just 22 years, found calcium levels in 12 fresh vegetables and fruits dropped 27%. Iron levels dropped 30%. Vitamin C dropped by 30%. You'd have to eat 8 oranges today to get the same amount of vitamin A that your grandparents got. So since you can't get all your nutrients from your food, you have to rely on supplementation or you're going to have deficiencies. Bam, right there. You're going to have deficiencies if what you're eating is already depleted, right? So what do you feel when you're not getting enough nutrients in your body? Well, this is how the body compensates. You might have mental fatigue, digestive discomfort, a need to avoid certain foods because of how you react. So food sensitivities and allergies, irregular bowel movements, diarrhea or irritable bowel syndrome, a feeling of sluggishness or bloating, sluggishness every time you eat. So after you eat, like a half hour, hour later, you just want to go take a nap. Gassiness, acid reflux, acidity issues, GERD, heartburn, poor tissue repair, weight gain, constipation, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, lactose intolerance, diverticulitis, gastritis, skin issues, acne, eczema, psoriasis. Those are just a handful of gut-related issues. There are thousands more symptoms for nutritional deficiencies, and so that's why supplements are crucial. Tonight, we're going to focus on a single supplement just so that I avoid overwhelming you, and that's enzymes. I believe that enzymes are important as early as birth. Now, Young Living doesn't have a seedlings enzyme, but there is a KidSense enzyme that you can start by age 2 called Mightyzyme. So we're going to talk about that a little later in the class. What are enzymes? Well, in a nutshell, enzymes help you pull nutrients out of what you're eating and naturally digest the food that's in your gut. So without enzymes, you would cease to function. That means that the benefits of enzymes are without measure, and yet most of us have no idea how to use them. There are 2 ways that your digestive system receives enzymes. Number 1 is naturally through your food. And number 2, they're produced by your digestive organs. So your body's going to create some of what it needs, but then you also need to be eating what you need as well. And if you're not eating a perfect diet, then it means you need to be supplementing. People of all ages experience digestive discomfort. So you are not alone. You should not have to start a meal with family and friends worried that you're going to pay the price later. There's plenty that you can do to boost your overall digestive health in a natural way. So enzymes are part of a holistic picture for your gut that also includes drinking enough water, eating fiber, consuming fresh fruits and vegetables. Yet even with the healthiest diet, most people need a little help. The digestive system is the root of your overall health. It is the most basic building block. Most people cut stress, they try to get more sleep, or they start working out if they want to feel better. And those are great places to focus your energy and attention. But the bulk of us forget to pay attention to the gut. We would rather go on a walk than cut our Starbucks latte, right? I mean, I'm not throwing tomatoes at you guys, but you know. So I'm telling you, if you start in the gut or you at least make it part of your wellness protocol, you're going to see changes in your health that you simply cannot see by working out or drinking more water. And some of it has to do with diet and some of it has to do with supplementation, but both of them work together synergistically for overall health. Enzymes are key in the process because without them, you're getting a fraction of the nutrients in your food that your body needs to heal and support itself. You can't build a house without wood and tools, and you can't have a body that works without enzymes because they are the tools that build the house. So why do you need enzymes? Well, there's 2 reasons that it's important to supplement. The first reason is that enzyme depletion. So you've got enzymes in your gut, but as you age, they get depleted or they get damaged. This can cause DNA damage. It can make you age faster. You could actually be aging faster because you don't have enough enzymes in your body, which is crazy. It can lead to chronic disease so that the body's no longer able to keep up. The average 40-year-old is absorbing a fraction of what they were at age 20 because nutrient absorption declines with age. So to compensate, your body has to work overtime to produce enzymes. If you feel sluggish after a meal, it's because your body is pooling all of its resources just to break down your food, and it's not producing the hormones that give you energy. So when your body works overtime to properly digest your food, it doesn't have the energy to devote to other functions like immune defense. When food is properly digested, fewer digestive imbalances occur. Well, secondly, researchers have discovered that cooking or processing food over 118 degrees Fahrenheit kills virtually all digestive enzymes that occur naturally in it. If you don't have a mix of fresh and cooked food in your diet or fermented foods, you're likely losing most of the enzymes that you need. So finding a high quality product is really important. It doesn't matter if you're taking enzymes, if you're taking an enzyme that's poorly produced. It's the same as taking nothing at all. Young Living enzymes are plant and animal derived, which enables the enzymes to work in a wider pH range than other forms of digestive enzymes that are solely animal derived. The pH in the lower stomach can get as low as 1.5, and in the small intestine, the pH can get as high as 8. Young Living's enzymes can act in both environments because of the ingredients that are used to make them. So all of Young Living's enzymes are used to improve the digestion of foods, whether cooked, processed, natural. What does it help to digest? They can digest proteins, fats, carbohydrates, sugar, fiber, dairy products, all of that stuff that's found in the modern processed diet. All of Young Living's enzymes are FDA inspected, and they contain no fillers, no yeast, no dairy, no wheat, no corn, and no soy. They're free of artificial flavors, colors, and preservatives, and they're held to our seed to seal promise, meaning they're grown on the best land with premium essential oils infused inside, acting as a delivery system to the human body. So let's talk about the human body pH. Enzymes have to be designed very carefully because they have to manage the pH of the body or they're destroyed, much like they get destroyed when you cook them. So saliva in the mouth has a pH of 6.5 to 7.5. The upper stomach has a pH of 4 to 6.5. The lower stomach has a pH of 1.5 to 4, and the food will sit there for 1 to 3 hours. The duodenum's pH is 7 to 8.5, and the food sits there for 30 to 60 minutes. The small intestine is 4 to 7, and the food sits there for 1 to 5 hours. And the large intestine is 4 to 7, and the food sits there for 10 hours or several days. So, I mean, you're looking at days to break down the meal that you ate today. The pH is a really good way of measuring how acidic or how alkaline the body is, and the gut is going to adjust the level based on what you've eaten so it can break it down. So meats and chocolate, really, really acidic. Milk and dairy, really basic. A good enzyme is going to adjust to the pH of the gut so that it's not killed off and it can do its work. Young Living enzymes are naturally plant and animal derived, and they're a multi-spectrum formula that function throughout the entire pH of the digestive system. The capsules are a dual time release technology that release animal and plant enzymes at separate times throughout the digestive tract, allowing for optimal nutrient absorption. So in a few words, the science behind how the enzyme was made allows it to survive the harsh pH changes in the gut, so it can do what it needs to do in every single environment. Even under the harsh hydrochloric acid of the inner stomach, the enzymes still work. So what are some of the enzymes that are inside our enzyme products? Protease, that breaks down protein like beef, chicken, fish, vegetables. Bromelain, which breaks down proteins. Amylase breaks down carbohydrates, starches, and sugars. Lipase breaks down fats, oils, triglycerides, and other lipids. Cellulase breaks down fibers in fruits and vegetables. And phytase breaks down phytate, which negatively binds important minerals, which means you aren't getting the minerals from what you eat. So there's other enzymes inside too, and there's half a dozen essential oils that are good for the gut, like anise, ginger, rosemary, tarragon, and fennel. So next I've got a little training document. I don't read the training document out loud when I'm doing the teaching, but you guys can, or you can photocopy it and hand it off as a document to use while you're teaching the classes. Whoops, we just did that one. So let's talk about the firewood example. Gary always looked at enzymes as part of the bigger picture. So they aren't just to digest food. Gary would look at all of the details. He explained enzymes using a fireplace example. So to build a roaring fire, you need 3 things. You're going to need matchsticks or kindling wood. You're going to need medium logs, and you're going to need large logs. You need all 3. You're going to use kindling wood or matchsticks to start the fire. Those are the carbohydrates. They're simple sugars. It's fast energy just to kick things off. The medium-sized logs are proteins. They burn longer, and they give you energy much longer than carbs. They're the brain food, but they're not the best brain food. Believe it or not, the best brain food is actually fat. So the big logs are fats. They keep you going long-term, and they feed the brain that acts as a dashboard for the whole human body. So you need about a 1/4 cup of good fats every day to have enough food for your brain. Good fats include olive oil that's not heated, because if you heat it, it's going to hydrogenize, and that can cause cancer. So you can use it in salad dressings and marinades and that kind of stuff, but do not if it has to be heated. Avocado oil is good, coconut oil, pastured or grass-fed tallow or lard, any animal fat, or grass-fed butter or ghee. Those are all really good fats that your brain needs. The general rule of thumb is that if your fat is solid at room temperature, it's safe to cook with. So like coconut oil or butter. But if it's liquid at room temperature, then do not heat it. So if you want to learn more about good fats, there's a great book on it. It's called Eat Fat, Lose Fat by Mary Enig and Sally Fallon. So if you get up in the morning and you don't feel like you can get started without a cup of coffee, then try to make the conversion to Ningxia and Nitro instead. You likely feel that way because of your gut health. Also, look into how much you're chewing your food. In your mouth, there are enzymes to break down the carbohydrates. If you can't get moving in the morning, cut back on carbs and chew your food more slowly so that there's more time for the enzymes to get released and break it down as it travels through the gut. University of Utah researchers, after much study, said that each bite of food should be chewed 30 times before swallowing to allow the enzymes to do their job, because it starts in your mouth, right? Then avoid drinking liquids for 15 minutes before or after any meal, because you're diluting the enzymes and the stomach acids that are trying to digest your food. Each of these small steps will help with digestion. They're part of the big picture that Gary talked about, in which enzymes are a small part. So how do enzymes work? Enzymes are released along the digestive tract, but they start first in the mouth. When they get to the stomach, if the hydrochloric acid and the enzymes can't break the proteins down, then you have an acid problem. Most people over the age of 30 are not creating enough hydrochloric acid in the stomach. So if you have heartburn and indigestion, you likely don't have enough hydrochloric acid. You can reset your hydrochloric acid by drinking a warm glass of water in the morning with 1 teaspoon of raw honey and 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar. That's going to bring back your hydrochloric acid. How about amino acids? Another type of acid, right? 20 amino acids rebuild everything in the body. That includes over 50,000 protein structures in the body. So can you see why it's so important that we digest proteins correctly and that our stomach and small intestine function properly? It's mind-boggling. 20 amino acids fill over 50,000 protein structures. So how do you know if you're lacking or if you have a problem? Well, heartburn is one clue. You'll also know if you're feeling full without eating too much, or if you look older than you really are, if you appear to be aging faster. If your body doesn't replace protein structures with new ones, it's going to build up a level of toxicity and help you age faster. Another marker is your energy levels. Do you retain energy from the morning, or do you get really easily tired? The key to that might be a need for metabolic enzymes, specifically essential enzyme. So there's 3 different types of enzymes. Young Living actually has 4 enzymes, but there's 3 different types of enzymes in the body: metabolic, digestive, and food. So metabolic are the enzymes that you're born with, and they're essential for cell health. They don't speed up chemical reactions in the cells, and they help us, or they do, sorry, and they help us detoxify and produce energy. If we don't have metabolic enzymes, it's a problem because they're responsible for 100 trillion cells. They make sure that processes inside those cells take place. That's where your energy comes from. They're highly involved in everything. Digestive enzymes, that's the second one, our bodies also produce, but they're found only in the digestive system, not throughout the body. They're secreted from the salivary glands, stomach, pancreas, and small intestine, and they can be successfully implemented from an outside source. Digestive enzymes are there to make sure that we properly digest our food. However, they're not going to take care of that shortage of hydrochloric acid. And now you guys know what to do about the hydrochloric acid. Gary added an essential ingredient to the digestive enzyme essential enzyme to help us produce hydrochloric acid. So do you see how Gary thinks? It's very holistic. Food enzymes, that's the third one. So you got metabolic, digestive, and food. Food enzymes are only found in raw vegetables, fruits, and food that we eat. They exist naturally in raw food. If you cook the food above 118 degrees, you're going to destroy enzymes that raw food produces that are naturally occurring. Gary found that due to our chemical exposure and poor lifestyle choices, people get depleted. When you take an enzyme, it doesn't work the way that you think it does. You see the enzyme listed on the side of the bottle and you think it goes right into your system and starts breaking things down, working like the enzymes that your body's producing, but that's not quite how the science works. When you take an enzyme, it goes in and it supports the entire metabolic system so the body can produce the enzymes that it needs to make. It's very similar to the way that essential oils work. You use an oil to support the cell or to clean off a cell doorway so they receive good communication from the body and can do what they were called and created to do. Some of the strongest enzymes are made within the body itself. So when to back off enzymes and when do you, what do you do next with the enzymes? So you might find that when you start taking an enzyme, you begin to have other health issues. So for example, skin acne, maybe. Gary found that while some people were detoxing, they may have had enough metabolic enzymes, but while the toxins were being resolved, the cells duplicated toxic information and the liver ducts got clogged up. The result was toxemia from the liver ducts. You may notice when you start taking an enzyme that you begin to have new body odors or aches or pains or headaches. If that's the case, then you can pause and take some time with your liver and back off the enzymes a little bit. You need to make sure that your liver is strong and not on overload before you continue. So at this point, I'd stop doing the enzymes, do a colon cleanse and then a liver cleanse, especially if your symptoms are strong. You always clear your colon, your exit point before the liver, and then continue back with the enzymes. So here are the 4 enzymes that Gary created. We're going to dig right into some Young Living material now and what they do. So Essentialzyme, Essentialzyme 4, Allerzyme, and Detoxzyme. So we've already examined why you need enzymes, what categories of enzymes there are, and what to do if you have uncomfortable symptoms after taking enzymes. So now let's dive deeper and look at the 4 different enzymes that Gary created. I mean, a lot of people are like, I thought there were only 2, Essentialzyme and Essentialzyme 4. No, there's not. So which one is best for you? That's for you to decide based on how you feel. What I can train you on is how each of the enzymes are designed, and then you line that knowledge up with what the body needs. So the first one we're going to train out of the 4 is Essentialzyme. Now, this supplement was formulated with dual time-release technology to improve overall enzyme activity. It reduces, whoops, I'm just skipping all over the place. There we go. It reduces everyday stress and assists with healthy pancreatic function. So if you need some pancreas support, this would be a good one for you. It also helps eliminate harmful waste and purifies you internally. Gary designed this tablet to be slowly chewed. Chewing it will help produce saliva and enzymes in the mouth. So it's great for people who are sensitive to supplements because you're partially digesting this one in your mouth. It doesn't taste that great. Because of this process, Essentialzyme supports the activity of metabolic enzymes in the upper part of the body. It'll release easily through the stomach and the small intestine. Essentialzyme is unique because it's a broad spectrum digestive enzyme, but it also supports hormones. So if you've got hormone fluctuations, this is actually a really good enzyme for that. It's good if you need help absorbing vitamin B12, calcium, iron, or proteins. It's the only enzyme that contains betaine HCl, which promotes the production of hydrochloric acid. That is mission critical for high protein diets. So if you're on keto, if you're on Atkins diet or any type of high protein diet, this would be the enzyme that you want to take. Essentialzyme also contains the highest number of herbs. So I'm not going to go into great detail on the ingredients list of Essentialzyme because it dips heavily into science that most of us wouldn't understand unless we had an extensive biochemistry background. But I will tell you that it's bilayered, peppermint coated, a multi-enzyme complex tablet that combines pure essential oils and herbs and pancreatic and plant-derived enzymes to support overall digestion for those of us on a modern diet. It contains the top gut oils: tarragon, peppermint, fennel, clove, and anise, which is not sold individually on the Young Living website. So it's a great way to get anise into your diet. The supplement was designed for 2 purposes: to improve overall enzyme activity along the gut tract and to support the pancreas. It contains 5 different enzymes, as well as thyme leaf, carrot root, alfalfa sprouts and leaves, papain, cumin seeds, and more. It's augmented with herbs that are rich in vitamins, minerals, amino acids, fiber, essential oils, and enzymes that are preserved during our seed to seal process. This supplement is also part of the cleansing trio developed by Young Living: Essentialzyme, Comfort Tone, and ICP. Those 3 products give you a thorough cleansing of your system and eliminate waste by supporting normal liver function. So check out the cleanse protocol at the end of this book. The best way to take Essentialzyme is 1 hour before the largest meal of the day for your very best results. So before we move on, we're going to take a moment to go back and talk about that dual release concept of Essential Zyme. I'm just going to stop my share for a second and look at you guys right in the face because I just love this story. We're going to talk about dual time release and why this is really, really cool. So it's quite the concept. The woman that designed it is responsible for the fabulous dual time release capsule. She's pretty incredible. Her name is Anne Marie Buehler. She's a Swiss biochemist who moved to America to open a factory. So this is a little bit about Anne Marie Buehler, and this is from Royal Crown Diamond, Joanne Kahn. So Anne Marie originally came to introduce time release to Johnson & Johnson. Anne Marie is the person who first introduced Gary to essential oils. So if you've ever wondered who's the person that got him involved in EOs, it was this person. She introduced Gary to EOs in his clinic in Mexico in 1985. She was innovative. She was a highly respected formulator. She was one of the very first to bring true aromatherapy grade essential oils from Europe to the United States. And she was instrumental in the development of the first true time release process for vitamins and minerals. Known internationally for her skill and dedication to phytoaromatherapy, Mrs. Buehler was selected in 1993 as the U.S. delegate to the International Conference for Phytotherapy and Aromatherapy in Tunisia. The type of time release that Young Living uses is not like most companies have. Buehler understood that if you release vitamin C at the same time you release vitamin B or all of the vitamins together, they destroy each other. She became a key factor in helping Gary produce the ideal capsule for Young Living products, such as the capsule used in Essential Zyme. Gary needed the time release capsule to work a certain way in order to do things correctly. The capsule wall had to be thin enough to be able to release early on so that the toilet did not become healthy first. That's something that Gary always used to say. It was his joke, meaning that all the benefits in the capsule don't end up in the toilet water instead of in your gut. So that's one thing I love about Gary Young. He always sought the best of the best. Gary had immense knowledge in the field, but if there was something that he didn't know, he would seek out the person that did know to bring you the best products in the world, or he would get on his knees and he would ask the Lord. I mean, he was a genius of sorts. So that's what makes Young Living stand out, is Gary's insight, his innovation, his brilliance, and his humility. And so now we carry the torch for what Gary has already started. Gary knew that when you mixed nutritional products with different ingredients, just like oils, you change how they work and you change what they can accomplish. When you look at the ingredients, it's important to look at the whole. What's the goal with that particular product? What's the big picture? That's how Gary thought. So Young Living products are amazing because they have over 90% assimilation. What? In Europe, the highest quality products rarely utilize even 30% of the pill. So it's like 3 times better than the stuff that you're going to be buying at the stores. And Europe standards are higher than the United States. Part of the assimilation factor has to do with that unique time release technology that Gary sought out that still applied to every single supplement that we make today. All right, I'm going to jump back into the PowerPoint and we're going to go to the next supplement. So that is Essential Zyme. The next one is Essential Zyme 4. So this one is not one capsule, but it's 2 capsules. You can see them right there side by side. This is a multi-spectrum enzyme complex specifically formulated by Young Living to aid in the critically needed digestion of dietary fats, proteins, fiber, and carbohydrates found in a processed diet. If you're ever worried about reading the descriptions of the products that Young Living's created, I took them right off the Young Living website. So they've already been through teams of lawyers. You're not going to get nailed by compliance. You shouldn't, unless things change on us. But for now, this is safe and it's good to read, and it's their own wording. So the dual time release technology releases animal and plant-based enzymes at separate times along the digestive tract, allowing for optimal nutrient absorption. This particular enzyme is also great to have on hand if you feel like you've overeaten. So this I call my Thanksgiving enzyme because it's great if you've just eaten too much food. So Essential Zyme 4 combines 4 digestive enzymes into one. Essential Zyme 4, Essential Zyme, Detox Zyme, and Allerzyme. And it comes packaged in 2 different colored capsules, which you can see right there. There's a neutral colored capsule and there's a yellow capsule. So the yellow capsule is immediately released and it disintegrates within 20 minutes of entering the stomach. This capsule aids in the breakdown of food that's already in the stomach. The neutral colored capsule is a delayed release and it disintegrates in the small intestine, which is pretty cool. This is designed to support the breakdown of food in our intestines. So that means you have 2 digestive organs at play here instead of just one. Essential Zyme 4 is infused with ginger, fennel, tarragon, anise, and lemongrass essential oils, and all of these support normal digestive function in the gut. The supplement is meant to be taken with your 2 largest meals of the day. Young Living recommends that you take 1 capsule within 15 minutes, either before or after both of your meals. So I just keep it in my purse, or I put it right on my kitchen table so that I've got it. The 2 capsules come packaged together in perforated sections for easy on-the-go travel packs. You can keep one in your car and you can keep one in your purse. Also, be aware that this product can turn your urine yellow. It's because it contains riboflavin, which is a water-soluble vitamin that can cause yellowing of urine. There's no harm with the reaction. It just means that your body's taking in what it needs and it's flushing out the extra. Essential Enzyme 4 is actually my favorite one to try out. What are some of the active enzymes inside? And I like to try this one out because it's a mix of all 4 of the enzymes together. So it's got protease that helps with protein. Amylase helps you break down starches, fats, carbs, proteins, and fiber. Cellulase, which is in this, these are all different names of enzymes, helps break down cellulose. That's fat, right? Fat on your legs and stuff. It also provides a more sustainable energy source for your body and decreases the rapid rise in blood sugar after ingesting simple sugars. Lipase aids in the digestion of fats. Peptidase breaks peptides down into amino acids. Phytase has the ability to release phosphate and minerals from a plant compound called phytic acid, and it may support your body's ability to absorb and utilize minerals. Because it catalyzes phytic acid, it's great for breaking down foods that contain phosphorus. So you're like, oh yeah, I don't know what I ate today that has phosphorus in it. Well, if you had grains, so if you had any bread, if you had any oils, or you had any seeds, you likely had a good dose of phosphorus today. Bromelain helps with protein digestion, but new research has shown that it supports a normal inflammatory response, so it's very, very good for inflammation. And papain is a popular ingredient in meat tenderizer that's derived from raw papaya. It supports digestion if you just consumed meat. Are you guys still hanging with me? Everybody's doing good? I'm going to show you a video in a second with enzymes working, and it's like, whoa, no way. But let's take a look at the last 2 enzymes. So Allerzyme is the next one. Most people are like, I didn't know this was like an enzyme for breaking down your food. It is. So Allerzyme is a vegetarian enzyme complex. So there are no animal products used in these last 2 ones at all. So Allerzyme, Detoxzyme, vegetarian, and it promotes digestion. This is for the relief of occasional symptoms like fullness, pressure, bloating, gas pain, minor cramping that might occur after eating. It helps with the digestion of sugars, starches, fats, and proteins. There's a mix of powerful enzymes that complete digestion, help detoxify, and promote cleansing. The ingredients also work with the body to support normal function of the digestive system. Undigested food creates inefficient digestion overall. So if you're going to the bathroom and there's pieces of your food in your poo, then you got digestion issues and you need to take a look at it. If your stomach is distended, if it's not flat, then you've got digestion issues and you need to take a look at it. If you're really gassy, if you have swelling, in your ankles, your toes, your fingers, you have digestion problems. So this is one of the top enzymes for an occasional stuffy nose due to other sensitivities. It's a valuable aid to the normal function of the respiratory system. So this enzyme is safe for both human and animal use. So it's safe to use for pets. If you're using an enzyme for large animals like horses, it's better to go with Essential Zyme because of the quantity that's required for Allerzyme. Some of the oils in that one are fennel, tarragon, peppermint, ginger, lemongrass, juniper, patchouli, and anise. And for that, you're going to take 2 capsules 3 times a day. Then the last one is Detoxzyme. So this enzyme, which is also vegan, both these last 2 are, gives your whole system a good scrub down. I love to use it if I'm cleansing or if I've been exposed to things that I don't like in my system. Detoxzyme combines a myriad of powerful enzymes and it helps detoxify and promote cleansing. It's a great digestive and immune support supplement. This is a great enzyme for teeth. It's really good for your teeth and for weight management and control. It helps to support nutrient absorption. The ingredients list as much of what you read in the other 3 enzymes, but with a few modifications. So the enzyme alpha galactosidase is unique, and it supports the breakdown of beans, legumes, seeds, soy products, roots, and underground stems. Lipase supports the digestion of healthy fats. Phytase assists with the absorption of magnesium, potassium, and zinc found in foods like barley, cashews, walnuts, and rice. 90% of these minerals get locked up in phytic acid and they're not absorbed in the digestive system unless phytase is present. So you're going to take 2 capsules 3 times a day of this one. So if you are eating things, a lot of nuts, a lot of rice, a lot of beans, a lot of soy products, this is your enzyme for that. So what on earth does all of this mean? I'm going to put it in a simple, easy to read chart for you. That chart is in the book, but we're also going to make it downloadable on my website this week. So this is our enzymes at a glance. We have a simple to read chart inside the script book, the Oiler Edition script book. But basically, let's go from left to right. Essential zyme, take when your pancreas or digestive system needs a boost. This is the only one that's chewed. Aids in digestion and elimination of waste from the body, supports the liver, increases your hydrochloric acid. Essential zyme 4, you take when your food intake is deficient. So you're eating really poorly around holidays, birthdays, traveling, stress eating. It combines all the enzymes that Gary designed into 2 tablets. But Detoxzyme still has the most enzymes in it. So if you're looking for enzyme count, you're going to want to go with Detoxzyme. But Essential Zyme has, a little bit of everything in it. It helps to improve key nutrient absorption and digestion, breaks down fats, proteins, fiber, and carbs, and has immediate release and slow release capsules, and helps balance enzymes across the whole gut. So because it releases in different parts of the gut tract, and it's soothing and calming to the digestive tract. Allerzyme, which is vegan, you take this one when you are having reactions to food, substances, or surroundings. It gives relief from fullness, pressure, bloating, and gas. Strong support with digesting sugars and starches. So if you're eating a lot of sugar, this is a good one to take. And it's the best enzyme for breaking down gluten and lactose. So bread and dairy, really common allergens. This is the best enzyme for breaking those down. And then Detoxzyme, you take this when you have things in your body you need purged. So it's great for cleaning you out. It helps to digest starches, sugars, proteins, fats. It's great if your diet is primarily beans, soy, seeds, legumes. It's the fastest acting of the 4 enzymes. So if you need relief really quickly, take that one. And do it, you take it with your meals, not before or after them. It has the largest range of different types of enzymes, so the most of all 4, has the fewest herbs and essential oils though, which means this would be the enzyme of choice for people who have sensitivities. That's a really, really good one because it's got less things in it that they might react to. And this gives relief from occasional fullness, pressure, bloating, and minor cramping after eating. When people come to me and they can't use any oil and they can't do any supplement, I recommend, let me go back. I recommend that they do Detoxzyme and Sulfurazyme, heavy doses for 30 days, and then we reintroduce the oil. Okay, so there are other products in Young Living's arsenal that aren't considered enzymes. Instead, they act synergistically alongside of them. And I'm not going to go into great detail on them, but 2 products that work really, really well are the Cleansing Trio and Juvitone. So we'll do those in a second. I just want to give you a little demo. A huge shout out for the team that put this video together. It was not me, but they took the kids enzyme. So it's not even the full adult enzyme. They took Mightyzyme and put it in a bowl, and they want to show you how it breaks things down efficiently. It's just a little 60-second time release video to show you the power of enzymes. And I said, this is just the kids' enzymes, so we're not even talking about the big dogs here. It's a couple minutes. It's how good enzymes do and just breaking things down for you so that your gut isn't having to work so hard to break the food down, but the enzymes are doing it and helping you pull all the nutrients out of it so that your body can absorb everything. Isn't that really cool? So just a quick hyperlapse and shows you the power of enzymes. So Cleansing Trio, I actually have a whole breakdown of cleanses, and I'm not going to go through it tonight just for time, but I will pick a day later this week, probably Friday, and pop on, and we're just going to do the cleansing portion of this class. But I'll give you a little highlights right now, and then we're going to wrap up the class. So now that your liver's supported, what next? I'm going to go over a whole cleansing protocol a little bit later that you can run with yourself or your team, but I'm going to cover some cleansing here to avoid duplication. then give you a protocol in the back of the script book for cleansing. So a great way to put this lecture into practice is to snag the protocol and just run with it. So go grab the cleansing protocol out of the back of the script book and go try it. I want you to understand that if you're not clearing the colon and strengthening the liver, you're really defeating the point of a cleanse. So watch your poo to know if you're ready, and then supplement your liver for a few days before you start. If you're not sure if you need a liver cleanse, just look at the health of your gut. Look at your energy levels, your hormones, sleep patterns. That's going to tell you if your liver needs a leg up. So the good news is that Gary thought of your poop. He created Comfort Tone and ICP, and it's the best poop factory I've ever seen in my life. So if you're not regular, this will help. These supplements pair really well with Essential Zyme, which if you've already studied, to form the most perfect cleanse. So if you're going on enzymes and you're not getting the results you want from the enzymes, you're reacting negatively to the enzymes, come off of them and do this. Do the cleansing trio. So Comfort Tone is the third product in the cleansing trio alongside ICP and Essential Zyme. It's basically an herbal laxative. So between Comfort Tone and ICP, you're going to make sure your exit points are really, really clear. And I'll shoot another video going through these in depth on cleansing. ICP is the second one. This keeps your colon clean with an advanced mix of fibers that scours out residue. So if you've ever done any type of a cleanse using supplements before, you're familiar with the words like psyllium, oat bran, flax seeds. They're going to do the job and get things moving for you. So those fibers are both soluble and insoluble and enhanced with a blend of essential oils, and they work to decrease the buildup of waste and improve nutrient absorption and help to maintain a healthy heart. So I have a hard time taking that just in water like they suggest, but I dump it into a packet of Ningxia and it's so much better for me. Works super, super, super well. Okay. And then the third one is Essential Zyme, which we've already studied. So I'm going to skip over that. The second product that works really well with enzymes is Juvitone. And again, this is for a cleansing protocol. So I'm going to shoot a short little video on this later on in the week. Juvitone is a powerful herbal complex designed to promote liver support and function. In fact, any Young Living product that Young Living makes that has the word Juva in it is liver support related. So we talked a lot about the pancreas and the gut in this class, but not so much about the liver because it's not technically part of the gut as we know it, which is the tube that runs from your mouth to your tush. The liver is really considered part of the overall digestive system though, because it's part of the body's filtration system. So the liver is actually part of two of your major body systems, digestive and excretory. Your excretory system is where all the yuck from your body gets processed before it heads to your tush, to use scientific terms. So if you're ever going to do a cleanse, you need to make sure your exit points are clear. The colon and the liver have to be doing really well. If they're clogged up, then everything you do is going to get reabsorbed back into the body. So that's why I do Juvitone, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later this week. Another thing that you can do is take Lemon Vitality and put it in some room temperature water and start your day with 8 ounces of that. Maybe 5 to 8 drops in some room temperature water is a huge support for the liver. So watch this for a few seconds as we learn about lemon. Bam. So that's a little bit about lemon. So we'll talk a little bit more about cleansing later on this week, and I'll go through the cleansing protocol at the very back of the script book. Okay. I did want to tell you with Juvitone, which is one of our liver products, it's really helpful for addictions and addictive behaviors. So if you're a smoker and you're doing JuvaCleanse or Juvitone, you might not like it anymore. When you have addictions, it's because the residues of that substance are stuck in the liver ducts and it causes you to crave it. If you crave sugar, it's because you have sugar stuck in your system. So when you start to clean that out, you begin to get rid of the residues that cause the craving, which I just think is a cool part of this class. So now let's talk about the enzyme protocols and how to take them. And then we're going to wrap up with a little video on the Young Living Foundation. So you guys have just survived the craziest enzymes class of your life. We trained on all the enzymes. We trained on all the questions about enzymes and all the things, right? It was really thorough, and even cleansing, we talked about that. So if you have symptoms of bloating and not feeling good overall, if your body smells, if you break out, you might want to start with Essentialzyme and Detoxzyme daily and alternate with Allerzyme to kick things in high gear. So just follow the instructions on the bottle or in the class. If you're sensitive to everything, you're having problems with everything, then start with Detoxzyme. If you have gluten or dairy issues, start with Allerzyme and then alternate with the other enzymes. I personally begin with Detoxzyme to clear everything out, and then I rotate between the other three to get the goodness of all the enzymes in my gut. So if you're sensitive to one of them, cut it out. Do 30 days of Detoxzyme and Sulfurzyme, and then try reintroducing at a low dose. It's always best to start with one enzyme at a time so you can narrow it down and see which one is helping you to feel better. The good news with enzymes is they don't really work like probiotics or CBD. They don't need to build in the gut. They act as a catalyst, they engage a chemical reaction, and then your body moves on. So that's why you need to constantly replenish them. So here are 4 different protocols that you could pick from to do, and you can go back and read this in the book a little bit more thoroughly, but you can pick any of these to do based on what your needs are right now. I mean, I've given so many different things. If you have addictive behavior, if you have problems with lactose, if you have problems, if you're on a high, protein diet, keto, or anything like that. So it just depends what you're putting into your body is going to, dictate which enzyme you want. So protocol 1 is 30 days of Detoxzyme or Detoxzyme and Sulfurzyme. We talked about that to clean out. You can do this after Juvitone and the cleansing trio if you want. So if you're taking stuff and it's not working and you're getting more bloated and you don't feel good, you're probably backed up. So you need to go make sure everything's cleaned out. So take Essentialzyme and Detoxzyme for 2 weeks. And then after that, alternate every other day with Allerzyme. Personally, I would go off that protocol after 2 months and try Essentialzyme 4 and see if your body likes it more than the other enzymes. And if it seems to work fine, then start using them in rotation. I usually keep Detoxzyme in my protocol and I rotate the other 3 out unless I eat a specific food like beans or grain and I need that specific enzyme that day. So protocol 2, do Detoxzyme only if you're sensitive to the other 3 enzymes. So you'll know this if you're running to the bathroom, if it's giving you diarrhea or you're constipated, right? If that happens, I want you to dial back what you're doing a notch or 2 and just see if it alleviates it. And if not, switch to only Detoxzyme for a month or 2 and then reintroduce the other enzymes. Protocol 3, targeted nutrition. So let's say you're just in really good health. You've been doing enzymes for a while, but you just want some change, right? You want to lose 10 pounds, or you just want to tweak a couple things. You want to build some muscle, do some toning, or maybe you have a gluten intolerance. So you want to hone in on just that one thing. So for 4 months, you take only Allerzyme because that's the one for gluten intolerance. You might have a lot in your system that needs clearing out. So for several months, you might only take Detoxzyme. And then you introduce one enzyme at a time, waiting a month before you try the next one. If you don't need to move as cautiously, then protocol 1 is just fine. Protocol 4, this is the last way you can try all these enzymes. Just take Essentialzyme 4 15 minutes before a meal. Or if you know you're constipated, take a little extra. If you have diarrhea, you're most likely constipated because the liquid is all that can get through due to your colon wall being full and impacted. So diarrhea is actually a sign of constipation. So if that's the case, take one Comfort Tone 30 minutes before you eat, and it's going to start to get things moving. It's like a kitchen. You just had a meal, you got dirty dishes. If you start to cook again, you can't serve the meal when the kitchen and the dishes are dirty. So a half an hour before you eat, take a capsule of Comfort Tone and get the dishes clean. So what about kids? That's my granddaughter. Isn't she super cute? You guys can say, oh, well, these are easy. There's only one enzyme until they hit age 12. So you just add it into their protocol. It's called KidSense Mightyzyme. It looks like that. It says for kids 6 and older, we actually start our kids a little bit younger than that. So you chew 1 tablet 3 times daily prior to or with meals. For children 2 to 6, we started at 2 years old, you just cut it in half and you give them a half a tablet, and you can crush it, mix it with applesauce, yogurt. This is for symptoms of fullness, pressure, bloating. Any kids come to you, say, my tummy hurts. They need enzymes, right? pain, mild cramping that occurs after eating. Mighty Zyme was created with 7 different enzymes, as well as carrot root powder, alfalfa leaf powder, and peppermint oil to help with digestion, along with a little apple juice powder, berries, and stevia, and an herb used as a sweetener to soften the flavor. So 70% of your immune system is in the gut. 90% of serotonin, which regulates more than 300 functions in the human body, including your mood, is made in the gut. I found that my kids' behavior is so much better overall, and we have less moodiness in the house when they're taking enzymes every day. It's very calming for kids with special needs. So if you feel like your child, matter of fact, this is a game changer for kids on the spectrum, is enzymes. We've got so many testimonies from our team on that. So if your child needs a cleanse before jumping into supplements and enzymes, a gentle way of doing this is JuvaFlex, the essential oil on the feet, and then add Mighty Zyme and Mighty Pro enzymes and probiotics daily. Putting oils on the feet is a little bit gentler than, putting them directly over the liver. So what about dosage? We did all of our kids training. We're going to talk dosage. This is probably the most common question in the entire supplements and oils world. How much do I take? Where do I put it? Does it go on the first toe or the left knee? Like, here's what I would tell you, and it's going to go against all that you know, and it's going to go against all that you've been taught, just like many other concepts that we covered in the book. Trust your body. I mean, every single person's body is different, whether they're a child or an adult. So even when it's working at its best, your body is going to change. And sometimes it's hour by hour. Sometimes it's depending on stress or sleep or food or emotions or the environment. You might find something is working only to have to adjust it the next week. So just be patient with your body. You cannot take the pharmaceutical world and apply it to natural medicine, because the entire premise is that you're listening to your body for what it needs, and that includes dosage. So obviously use common sense and don't exceed what the bottle tells you is safe, but your body might say on a given day that it just doesn't want it, even though it's part of your wellness routine, and that's okay. Listen to your body. So what does listening look like? Don't do cleanses when you feel groggy, sluggish, and can't wake up. Use Detoxzyme. Take breaks from all of your supplements and let your liver rest when everything in your body tells you not today, while you lay out all of your supplements faithfully on the table. Make sure your exit points are clear. We talked about that. If you plateau on stuff, go do a liver cleanse. I'm talking about your butthole one last time in this class. You might need to take it slower on supplements in a season of stress and just start your day with lemon vitality and peppermint vitality oil and 8 ounces of room temperature water, and that's fine. A doctor's way of doing medicine is not really how natural living works. Instead, you've got to follow the ebb and flow of your body and what it wants on a given day based on your exposure, even based on your emotional exposure points, and that changes with what you eat. It changes with what you open yourself up to physically, mentally, and spiritually. Even a doctor's blood test may not reveal all that's going on inside your body. If they, with all of their technology, can't figure out the puzzle of your body, then why do you beat yourself up when you don't have answers immediately? Just take it slowly, listen to yourself, look for clues, use things like the navel test, which I'll show you in a minute, as well as silent messages that your cells will give you. We'll go over navel test a little bit later. So play and try new things. Try each supplement to see what's working. And when it works, stick with it. When your body needs it to rest, then let it rest. When it needs a cleaning, clean it. When it needs to move, help it move. As remedial as it sounds, you will know what you need day by day by being still and listening to you. Now, what about forcing supplements or oils? When somebody is weak, it's really important to start them with products very lightly. So pushing things is the wrong way to go. When the body is high in stress and we're pushing things, other problems might come of it. So use common sense. Use the navel technique. When you use a product for 2 months and you don't notice a difference, then it's probably the wrong product for you at that time. If you're strong enough, when you do a cleansing program, go for it all the way. When you do a nutritional program, go for it all the way. Gary added the oils to products for a very specific purpose with a certain understanding, not just to enhance the product, but also to help the body take over its own functions again. So perhaps for a while, you have to take Comfort Tone every time you travel because your body doesn't want to go number 2. But there should be a point where you can travel without it and the body will be programmed to go without the supplement. Just make sure you don't take supplements all the time. Take breaks. And I would tell you to take breaks with the change of the seasons. Go off all your supplements 1 week in the spring, 1 week in the summer, 1 week in the fall, 1 week in the winter. When you're healthy and everything's going fine, you've done the planting. Gary said you've done the building and now it's time for maintenance. If your body doesn't want to take 5 products a day, then go off of them and let it rest. Gary once told a story that he had a mole on his belly And he put products on the mole and it seemed to be shrinking, but then it stopped. And he did it again and it stopped. And he asked his body what was wrong, and he found that it wanted rest. He learned that he had to put the product on for 3 or 4 days and then stop and take a break. And guess what? He got rid of the mole. So it taught him when you overpower the body just stops. So simply help the body find its own rhythm. Now, what if there's a supplement that I don't like? There is one exception to this rule of asking the body, and it's usually just as you're starting a supplement that you know your body needs, but it doesn't appear to like. So if you notice right after you start using the oils or supplement that you automatically say, I don't want this, it's because the oils stimulate the right and the left brain to communicate. So your body might need to be trained to accept something that's good for it. And there's actually a way to train it. It's called the sniff test or the navel test. The test is really simple. You're going to open any bottle of oil, and the right brain, which is actually on the left side of the head, the right brain is in charge of the left side of the body, and the left brain is in charge of the right side of the body. So to go into the right brain, smell the oil in the left nostril only and go as close as is comfortable. And then with a stronger scented oil like peppermint or cinnamon, for example, you might need to hold it several inches away. The oil will seem strong to people that are using them. Hold it far enough out that they can smell the oil without feeling uncomfortable or overwhelmed. Secondly, take the bottle and drop the oil on the skin around your navel or your belly button in a clockwise direction. And now your 5 meridians have picked up the message on the navel and all of your nerves. So go back to your left nostril, controlling the right brain, and you're going to breathe it in just with the left nostril. I found that when somebody tells me they can't make up their mind, I already know that the right and the left brain are not communicating with each other. So do you ever have that indecisive dinner mate that can't pick out where they want to eat? I'm not telling you to have them offer their navel for a 2-minute sniff test, but hey, it just might get you to the steakhouse a little bit faster. So do this exercise several times a day, and it could be a game changer for trying things that you don't like. If you can get both sides of your brain working together on a supplement, hold the supplement by your nose, pull one capsule out, make circles around your navel. I know it sounds really bizarre, but your sense of smell is very powerful and your nerves are very, very powerful. And the body is very smart and it will acclimate to what it needs to do. I love doing this exercise when I really dislike the smell or the taste of a supplement. It doesn't always take away my full dislike, but I can train my mind by saying, this is good for me. This is what my body needs. I'm learning to crave it. So it follows the biblical concept of speaking life. When there's a blockage in the right or the left brain, there's a blockage in the body functions also. If you do a cleanse or any other protocol and it doesn't seem to be working, try a different side. If all the pain you have is on one side of the body, it might mean that your left and right brain are not communicating. So you know what to do now. Open up communication between both sides of the brain with the 15-second sniff and navel test exercise, because your nose is your most powerful sense and the only sense connected to the limbic lobe, the dashboard of the human body. So use your oils to get both sides of the brain to talk. Gary always said the body will give you signals and signs for you to make decisions and improve your wellness. You just need to listen. So if you tune into Gary's way of thinking, you might discover answers that you were looking for. So I end the class on an FAQ, an enzymes FAQ. I'm not going to do that tonight. I'm going to save it for another little short video that we'll do later this week. But some of the topics in there are, why is barley an allerzyme? What order would you take enzymes if you were first starting? Should we start detoxing the liver before taking enzymes? We have people who do Comfort Tone, Life9, and multigreens, and they feel more bloated. Does that mean that their liver is blocked up? Why? Are there certain times of the year that are really good to cleanse? And we talk about spring in the woods and summer in fire and late summer earth and autumn in metal and winter in water. And then I give you some additional training and additional reading. Dr. Leanne Deardeff's stuff, Inner Transformations Using Essential Oils, is just absolutely wonderful. So we're going to pause here before we wrap up, because there are 2 things I want to do. And the first one's have a little fun with a little DIY. So we always end our classes on a DIY to keep the atmosphere light and fun. like your own personal little muscle rub there. I am. The CBD salve is pretty awesome. So we're going to end this class. I'm going to give you a little apply it section. We'll talk about that in 1 second, but I want you to know, that when you round up your orders, let me look you guys in the face for a second. When you're placing an essential, an order for enzymes, you can actually be blessing other people and not just yourself. So you could be making a difference for people around you and not just yourself. When you go to check out in your cart, it's going to give you an option to round up to the nearest dollar. If you do that, then the money that that you just donated, whether it's 20 cents, 70 cents, 90 cents, or whatever, that little roundup, that goes to the Young Living Foundation. And, Gary set that up years and years and years ago to help people that have less than we have. So I would challenge you when you're placing your enzymes order to do the dollar roundup. And I want to pause here. We're going to end the class with this. I want you to see a little bit about what the foundation is all about, so that when you see that button what to do. The greatest happiness we find is when we help others, especially those in the greatest need. So I would challenge you to round up when you are checking out with your enzymes. So let's talk about the apply it section real quick, and then we're going to wrap this class up. We did it in an hour. That's not too bad, guys. So at 190 PV, as of today, you can hop on the new Young Living website, youngliving.com, and anybody that is sitting through any of your classes can add anything to their cart, and if they're over 100 PV, they get a wholesale discount. So that's pretty awesome. So here's some loyalty rewards. Subscribe to Save Ideas. Essential Zyme, Detox Zyme, Allerzyme, Essential Zyme 4 for 190 PV. At 250 PV, the Cleansing Trio ICP, right? Comfortone, Essential Zyme, or maybe you stock some enzymes for your kids and supplements, Mighty Zyme, Mighty Pro, Mighty Vites. That's enzymes, probiotics, and vitamins for your kiddos. Or stock good oils for the gut, like Lemon Vitality, Peppermint Vitality, or Digest Vitality. At 300 PV, you can do some liver love, maybe Juvatone or Omega Guys or lemon oil over the liver. Some other oils that you can do that are really good for the gut are tarragon, peppermint, fennel, clove, ginger, lemongrass, juniper, patchouli, German chamomile, tangerine, and Juvaflex as well. So some action steps. I'd say start with some enzyme love. Just pick an enzyme, stay on it for 30 days and note any differences. Month 2, add a different enzyme. Make sure you're tracking your results so you can see what the differences are. I like to start with Essential Zyme, then add Detox Zyme, then add Allerzyme. Month 4, I stop all of them and do Essential Zyme 4, and then I restart. Or you can also consider a cleanse. So I would recommend the Cleansing Trio, because you always want to make sure that your exit points are clear first, meaning you do anything with your liver or gallbladder and your colon, make sure those are clear, and then follow the instructions in the bottle and then start your enzyme. So this class, if you guys liked it, it would be a blessing if you hop on Amazon, go give me some love, leave a review of my website. This class and 25 other classes are found in the Oiler edition and the Teacher's edition of the script book. There's also a companion workbook and a mini. And typically we train on the mini on Wednesday nights, but this week I'm going to do the mini and the workbook together on Thursday because tomorrow is my son's 17th birthday. So I want to be a present mama, so I will not be on tomorrow, but we'll do double duty and get both of these done. And that wraps up the 112 enzymes class. We will get this PowerPoint online for you guys in the next day or two here. And I pray that this class was just a huge blessing to you. Why don't you guys tell me something that you learned this evening? I'm gonna do some giveaways at the very end of the class here. And Sarah, you're rocking these classes. Thank you. I appreciate that. Next week, we're going to totally switch gears. We've been focusing on the gut for 3 weeks. Next week, we're going to do Savvy Minerals and Bloom, and it's so much fun. Gail says, when you say add an enzyme after a month, you mean take them all together or drop the one you're using? Gail, you're going to listen to your body and see what it needs. Gay says the sniff test. All right, Gay Ozan, you just won a script book and a workbook. Congratulations. Judy Menzies says, happy birthday. Tomorrow's my 5-year-old granddaughter's birthday. Oh, Judy, I'm going to give you 5 minis so you can give one of the minis to her just so she's got a little book for herself. Okay, and then the next one, let's see. Cecilia Kuthi says enzymes are key for kids on the spectrum. Seriously, guys, that's a huge tip, huge tip from this class. So you're winner number 3. So I'm going to give you a Oiler edition and a workbook together. So my winners, you guys go ahead and email me at oilabilitywithsarah@gmail.com. We're going to take tomorrow off, and then Thursday I'll be back on and I'll shoot the workbook and the mini for this. Friday I'll pop on and I'll go through all that cleansing protocol with you guys. I'll just pop on during the day and do that with you. And then we gear up for a total shift and we're going to start talking beauty. So I'm pretty excited about the class next week. It's all Savvy Minerals, Bloom. It's a whole skin class with protocols on things to do for your skin. Brain mood starts in the gut. You are so right. So God bless you guys. Thank you for getting on. Thanks for giving up your evening. I pray that you're really enjoying the boot camp for this book, and we'll pick it back up again on Thursday. Okay. Congratulations to our winners. Bye.